How do we sleep when our back is burning?
Okay, you're talking about body hacks, biohacking, things that you do and experiment with your body to try to get better health, better longevity, better look, whatever you're trying to get, whether it's lifting weights or drinking hydrogen water. One, the easiest thing in the world that you can do to lower your risk for blood pressure, lower your risk for heart disease and stroke, lower obesity, diabetes, depression, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, all these things. It's the easiest thing you can do. What do you think that hack would be? Exercise, like what's the easiest thing to do?
Exercise and diet.
Yeah, easier than that.
Sleep, rest.
Sleep. You just sleep. More sleep helps you avoid all of those things. Everybody hates this time change, right? About a third of adults don't get the recommended amount of sleep. This does not help with that. When you miss your sleep, your brain, that's the number one thing. You reduce your focus, you get slower reaction times, memory problems, driving tired can be just like driving legally drunk.
Sure.
Metabolism. Okay. Just one night of poor sleep can cause increased hunger with hormone, which is your ghrelin. Reduce satiety. The hormone that tells you you're full is leptin. Ghrelin's your hunger hormone, and leptin's the one that tells you to full to stop eating. That's why you crave sugar and junk food when you don't sleep good. Sleep, it reduces your natural killer cells by 70% in some studies. So your immune system is tanked. This is one night sleep loss. But also, we talk about heart disease and blood pressure. Daylight savings times, there's a rise in heart attacks the following Monday because of that lost hour of sleep. Consistently depriving of less than 6 hours, obesity, diabetes, depression, Alzheimer's, it rots your brain. You've got to get the right amount of sleep. In one study, people sleeping 5 hours per night had 12% shorter life expectancy than those people sleeping 7 to 8 hours. So, our night shift workers, cancer, metabolic disease, obesity, your body expects light when you awake and dark for repair and sleep. It's all about your circadian rhythm. It's all about setting that rhythm and having that rhythm in your body. And that's your 24-hour biological clock. In the morning, sunlight triggers your cortisol and your dopamine and your wakefulness and you're alive and you feel good. In the evening, that's when it triggers the melatonin, the sleep repair, and the growth repair hormone. Most of us are going from artificial LED lights and looking at our screen to relax right before bed at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And it doesn't set the room. So anyway, there's some hacks to fix this. What do you think the number one thing to do would be to reset your circadian rhythm and help you sleep better? What's the best thing other than getting enough sleep and getting to bed on time and
cutting out the screens?
That's one of them. That's a big one. More important than that. It's more natural than that.
Sunlight.
Morning sunlight is absolutely it. Just 10 or 20 minutes of sunlight in the morning resets your circadian rhythm. When the sun's coming up, gaze at it. I even asked my eye doctor about this. Looking at sunsets, am I going to go blind? So looking at the sunrise, but gaze, don't stare at it, but gaze at the sun. Get that morning sunlight. If you can be outside, even better. But that morning sunlight coming out resets your circadian rhythm. It's going to be easy for it to go to bed. The second thing, consistent sleep schedule. The same time. Waking up at the same time. Even I'm going to sleep in on the weekend. I'm going to catch up.
I can't do that anymore.
Consistent sleep schedule, keeping your room dark. Even people cover up your alarm clock. Seeing that light in the middle of the night changes your rhythm. The little light that's on your smoke detector or your alarm system, it needs to be dark.
Really? Just take out your smoke detector?
Negative. You cover up the little thing. But grounding, time outdoors, get outside. If you're staring at the sun, you got some time. When you can, get your feet in the dirt. It grounds you. Stare at the sun. That stabilizes your circadian rhythm. That lowers your stress hormone. That's going to improve your sleep quality. So get a little movement. Dr. Fenn's Morning Mobility is on YouTube.
I thought you were talking about night.
No. So movement in the morning. Sunlight, little movement, little fresh air, and grounding is radical. I mean, radical what it does to your health and what it does for your DNA and how it repairs itself and your cortisol. But rhythms matter for longevity. Your sleep and wake cycles, your light and dark exposure, your eating windows. My nurse practitioner took care of her as a chiropractor too. She had a guy she was telling me about that was diabetic, and he would eat a whole box of Little Debbie's to help him go to sleep at night.
Gee.
And his blood sugar was 500 or some stupid number.
I don't know.
Whatever it is. It's some stupid number.
But I don't know what that means.
Yeah. High number.
Okay.
He would basically go into diabetic coma to go to sleep every night.
So
she goes,
literally
I don't know how he
food
didn't
coma.
die. Avoid eating several hours before bed. That midnight snack is not good. The longer the window, think about it. We're caveman running around hunting and gathering. You didn't get 3 squares a day.
Do you have a cutoff time for dinner or for food on weekdays?
Not hard and fast, but typically not after 8 or 9.
Well, I try to we eat dinner. I get home about 7. I'm bad about this. I have a little snack at night, and I try to not limit it to any time past 9. But it'll creep up. That's my hard one. But I don't eat lunch. I don't eat any food in the middle of the day until 1 o'clock or so. So I get a big window. That big window helps your body repair. obviously chiropractic, the nervous system regulates your sleep cycle. Your brain controls your melatonin production, which, by the way, the melatonin, I'm going to add this too. The melatonin production happens with that morning sunlight exposure. That's how you get better melatonin production. That's your sleep hormone. Chiropractic helps with your cortisol rhythm, your autonomic nervous system balance. In fact, people come in neck pain or back pain, and we always ask on the re-exam day, what's gotten better? The number one thing that people tell us it was not their primary claim. It's not solicited. They just tell us they sleep better. Most people sleep better when you get adjusted. Once again, the time change, losing that 20 to 25% increase in heart attacks the Monday after the springtime change. That's a lot. People that are most affected are the ones that are already sleep deprived, teenagers, older adults. So it's just obviously harder than the fall because the fall goes back and you gain an hour. But once again, they get that morning sunlight, get out there. It's only an hour on the clock, but your brain doesn't run on a clock. It runs on biology. So making sure you're.
Why don't we just stay on daylight saving time?
Well, you know when it started?
Well, it started during World War II.
When did it start? I'm at my search sword. It started, George Vernon Hudson, a New Zealand scientist, proposed in 1895 people could have more daylight.
Yeah, but that's the Kiwis. What about for the Americans?
British? I'm getting there. British in the early campaign worked heavily in the early 1900s because they thought people were wasting daylight and by sleeping through bright mornings. It really started World War I.
World War I.
Okay, so Germany, United States, United Kingdom, around 1916, 1918, they did it to conserve coal and reduce energy consumption for increased evening daylight productivity.
Okay.
They were thinking like, okay, more evening daylight, less artificial lighting, and then less fuel loose. But the United States standardized this in 1966. So it was when we did the daylight savings time.
And they got rid of it for a couple of years in the 70s.
Not all states observe it.
Alaska and Hawaii, and then also
close.
parts of
Arizona
Indiana.
and Hawaii. And it doesn't save anything because now we're using more air conditioning. There's more driving activity. When they did it in 1918, it was cold and you weren't running your car and your AC back then. So it helps retail and sports and outdoor recreation and golf. It helps some things.
Yeah, golf. Like you can get off work and go to Summerbrook and still play 18 holes.
Me and Riley got on a motorcycle and cruised out Centerville yesterday. I just loved it. I love that I can do a little something after work. I don't think it makes sense. I'd like to keep it daylight savings time if I had my vote on it.
Jason, daylight saving time or not?
I can take it or leave it.
Now, they've tried it. 2018, the Florida legislature passed a bill called the Florida Sunshine Protection Act.
But
it passed.
They can pass all they want. It doesn't matter. It's not a state thing.
That's it, which is crazy. Because they've got a few states that don't observe it. Arizona and Hawaii. They passed 90% support, signed into law by Rick Scott, and says it's going to stay on daylight savings. But
Fed said
the
no,
federal law, it's a
that.
Uniform Time Act of 1966. Used to be, there was one town that had 7 time zones at one point. Towns could decide whether to observe it or not. You could decide what time zone you're on. There was like some crazy stuff back in the day.
And then somebody has proposed up in DC to just split it and do 30 minutes.
I leave my clock at the beach on daylight savings times year round in my kitchen. I do not observe it in my kitchen in Caribou. So if you want to come observe it, so we got a little sovereign state in my tiny 2-drawer kitchen. I've been doing this 25 years.
That's hard to believe, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So talk about, okay, how old was Ryan Fenn when he started Fenn Chiropractic?
20.
Yeah, young.
Very
young. Doogie Howser young.
The big celebration, huh?
How can I get in touch with you?
April 1st is our big party. You can come to our big party.
How can I get in touch with you?
FennChiro.com, FENNCHRO.com, because chiropractor loves you.
This song is going out to Marsha Fenn.
My mom.
This is what she asked for.
Oh, right on. Hey, Mom.
Perfect.